What you do to me is in confliction, a straight contradiction with my mind. Guilty pleasure has a bitter taste. In the end, my friend, are you sure you want to fight?
Film cameras from the 90s, in my personal opinion, are some of the best cameras ever made. Cameras from the 90s marked a transitional period between film and digital photography, offering a blend of advanced film-based features and early digital experiments. Point-and-shoot cameras became super popular around this time, and brands like Canon, Nikon, and Fuji released models prioritizing ease of use, compactness, and automated functions. On the higher end, 35mm SLRs and medium format cameras advanced with improved autofocus, metering system, and ergonomic design, catering to both enthusiasts and professionals. Towards the end of the decade, digital cameras like the Nikon Coolpix and the Canon SureShot made its first appearance, paving the way for the digital camera boom of the year 2000. Now, we're not here to talk about digital cameras, so the Fujifilm DL312 Zoom is a modern 35mm film compact camera from 1995. It's also known as the Discovery 312 Zoom. The Fuji 312 Discovery stands out as a feature-packed yet remarkably user-friendly point-and-shoot camera. With a high-quality 7-element EBC Fujian lens that has a range from 38mm to 120, including 2 spherical surfaces and a 600 plus zone active focusing system. The specs alone are very impressive. Yet, despite all the high-tech internals, this camera is surprisingly easy to operate. All the modes and functions are easily accessible via this dial on top of the camera, making this one of the easiest cameras I've ever had to use. Now, instead of diving into all the technical aspects and the long pros and cons list, I'm just going to share everything that I love about this camera. Okay, let's begin with lightweight. This camera is super lightweight, even though it looks bulky and being from the 1990s. Image quality is pretty awesome in this camera. I feel all of the photos are pretty sharp, and I really like the colors that this camera produces. Ease of use. I feel this camera is pretty easy to use, so whether you're a beginner or a seasoned professional, anyone can use this camera. That's gonna lead all the way to fast turn-on times. As soon as you turn that dial, the camera is ready to take a photo. It's pretty hard to miss a shot with this camera. Next is zoom. It's always nice to have a zoom range, and I really like this 38 to 120. It has a lot of good focal lengths like 85mm and 50, which I like. This camera has a unique feature and is called panoramic photo or pano mode. This is when 2 little screens crop into your 35mm frame and create a panoramic photo. Now, this is cropping into your frame, so it really it's not a true panoramic photo, but it just gives you the look of a panoramic photo. I usually don't use this function that much, but it's cool that it has it. The camera has 2 screens on the top, one showing how many photos you have left, and the other one is to set the date. One of my favorite features about this camera is the little window to see what kind of film stock you have on. Now, I feel this is a really awesome feature because sometimes I load a roll of film, go out and shoot that day, then I might not go for another week or two. And sometimes, most of the time, I forget what kind of film stock's in there. So it's always nice to have that little window to remind you that you had Portra 800. The grip on this camera is pretty nice. It feels pretty good in my hand and it doesn't feel like I'm gonna drop it. One of the best things about this camera is the price. You can find this camera anywhere from $40 all the way to like $120 USD on eBay or other markets. I personally bought mine on eBay for $45 USD. So great price, awesome camera. And yeah, those are all the things that I love about it. I've only shot 3 rolls with this camera, a black and white roll just to make sure the camera is working properly. Ektar 100, I've always wanted to shoot that film stock and finally got around to buying one, and Portra 800. Now, I was lucky enough to go to ACL this year, and I took my camera with 1 roll of Portra 800. And the rest is history. Now, here are some of the things that I found in my findings that I think might make some of these cons for this camera. Now, there are very few. The most common one and the one that everyone talks about is that it has very loud motors. This is true. When you are zooming in and out, the motors are quite loud. And kind of slow in my opinion. Not super easy to load. So this camera has like a very weird kickstand type of back door, which makes loading and unloading your film pretty difficult. Lastly, I feel like the zoom button, it's in a pretty weird location. If you are looking through the viewfinder and want to zoom in at the same time, it kind of gets in the way. So I wish they would have moved the zoom button a little further up, and instead of using my thumb, I could have used another finger. Besides that, everything else is pretty much perfect, guys. Overall, I feel this camera is really fun to use. The price is pretty amazing. You can probably find this out there for 50 bucks. It takes really awesome photos. And I mean, it's something that's gonna help you capture memories a lot easier, and you're gonna have fun while you're doing it. So I really think this discovery is gonna be in my bag a lot, and hopefully I can take a lot of cool photos with it. All right, that's gonna be pretty much it for this week's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps out a lot. You guys subscribed. If you guys are not subscribed already, make sure you hit and smash the notification bell so you guys can get notified for future videos. And you guys be safe out there. See you guys next week. Peace.